Right lads, it is officially that time once again, and weirdly so soon, where it seems that another brand new Sonic game is in the works. No, not Sonic Frontiers 2, not Sonic Rumble, not Racing Cross Worlds, none of that. A completely brand new game separate to all those. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand. Onto Twitter, We Sonic Rush 3D. So we begin with Gematsu. Sega filed a trademark for Sonic Blitz on January 29th in Japan, which was made public today. This is not to be confused with Sonic Rumble, the mobile/PC multiplayer game. And there you have it, Sega's trademarked a new Sonic thing called Sonic Blitz. Now I'll say thing right here because this trademark might not necessarily mean a brand new game, but the evidence that we're going to talk about later on is going to show that yes, this actually is going to be a game. Now to some people right now, the name Sonic Blitz might sound very familiar. The first of those being some of those old Sonic fan games back in the day called Sonic 3D Blitz. Now I'm not too familiar with it really, but from what I've heard and seen, it looks like some sort of 3D Sonic fan engine with some levels here and there. But then the second hearing of the name Sonic Blitz comes from back in 2022, where during the news cycle for Sonic Frontiers, there was a leak of another brand new Sonic game titled, who would have guessed, Sonic Blitz. Now what's interesting about this leak of Sonic Blitz back in 2022 is that it was apparently shown to be fake, as we can see right here. Oh look, it's Unleashed from 2022. And the thing that the post that this David person was replying to was me talking about the leak, saying that there's a new Sonic game coming or something like that, and then obviously they say it's fake. I have direct contact with the person who made the logo and the person who made the Reddit post, so unfortunately you have been misinformed. And then upon hearing this news, I go ahead and say the Sonic Blitz leak is fake. You can all pack your things and go home now. Well, Unleashed from 2022, guess who's laughing now? Well, not me, because past Unleash is me. But yeah, what this Sonic Blitz leak from 2022 contained was this image of some crappy looking logo, and then that same Sonic Blitz logo appearing on some sort of gaming website called PlayAsia with the game apparently there. And very clearly these images are fake. There's no way these are real. That logo looks horrible. That's not official at all. It's fake, obviously. And yeah, that was basically the entire leak from 2022. No information on the game or whatever, just those two images. Unless I am misremembering, because obviously a lot of stuff got deleted, so this is all the remains I could find. But here's the thing. Even though the specific leak of Sonic Blitz is obviously fake, that doesn't mean that the game wouldn't have been in development at this point in time. Unless that is exactly what it means and I'm just being stupid, but I still don't think that this actually confirms that the game at this point in time in 2022 wasn't in development. Maybe somebody with a credible source back then heard some things about this Sonic Blitz thing and then decided to make a fake leak about it just to spread misinformation for no reason, when in actual fact it wasn't misinformation because, well, the game's real now. So yeah, this game called Sonic Blitz could have potentially been in development all the way back in 2022, which does mean the game might be closer than we think. Maybe not this year close, but who knows, maybe next year, I don't know. Because looking back on Sonic Frontiers, the game was titled Sonic Rangers throughout its development up until 2021, where the game was trademarked as Sonic Frontiers near the end of the year. And obviously just because the name Sonic Frontiers was trademarked near the end of 2021 didn't mean development of the game had already started just then. So maybe the same thing has happened here with Sonic Blitz 2. Now it would be weird how Sega would keep the name Sonic Blitz during development back in 2022, then only trademark it nearly 3 years later. Maybe development on the game got halted at some point, possibly, and then only got restarted recently, which is why they trademarked the name now. It's very possible, but of course we don't know right now. So now it's time to decide, what kind of game is Sonic Blitz going to be, because there are a couple of options here. Now the first thing that we gotta talk about is things that have already been leaked before about Sonic. Last year, two other names of Sonic things were actually trademarked by Sega again. One called Sonic Jump and the other called Sonic Spin Battle. And that's all we pretty much know about those two names. It could be board games, could be games, we don't know. But then there are also three other mobile games that also got leaked last year by I think Midori. One of those being a Chow game for Netflix, so I don't think this could be called Sonic Blitz because that wouldn't make any sense for, you know, Chow. Then the second game that was leaked last year was a Sonic Soccer game, so I mean Blitz, Soccer, I mean those two things could go together. Maybe this is Sonic Blitz, I don't know. And then the third option is a Sonic All-Stars tennis game which would be exclusive to Apple Arcade. So either one of those two sport games that we just talked about right now could be called Sonic Blitz because they've been leaked for like quite a while now, so the question is when they're coming out. Who knows? But let's just say that Sonic Blitz is actually none of those games and is actually a brand new game entirely. Now what game would Sonic Blitz actually be in that case? Well, there is some evidence pointing towards what it could actually be now. Because recently, Sega of Japan has opened up a brand new job listing, and here are the details. We are looking for development staff for a 3D battle action game, and the job description is creating specifications, game balance adjustment, stage creation, creating various data, and debugging work. And then an important detail in the eligibility section is basic knowledge of or experience working with Unreal Engine. Now you might be wondering, Unleash, what does this have to do with Sonic Blitz? It could just be for any random game, not necessarily Sonic at all. Well, here's where things get interesting. If we look to see where they want you to send these application documents to, here's who Sega's second development department won. And if we look to see what this actually is, see right here, it is the home of Sonic Team. So Sonic Team is somehow involved with the development of this 3D battle action game. But once again, this might not necessarily relate to Sonic, because in the past, Sonic Team has developed non-Sonic titles. They've done Sakura Wars back in 2019. They've made Knights, obviously, I think, and a whole bunch of stuff which I cannot remember right now, but they've essentially done a lot of non-Sonic titles. But I think there's some more evidence pointing towards Sonic Blitz being a fighting game, because over the past couple years, the social media manager for Sonic the Hedgehog, Katie right here, has been asking the same question over and over again: what do fans want to see from the Sonic franchise? And in every single one of these posts, there's always been the mention of Sonic fighting games. And there is a 99.999% chance that Sega and Sonic Team have seen these requests. So obviously what they're gonna do, that's right, appease those requests by making a Sonic fighting game. I mean, just think about it. The name Sonic Blitz, that just sounds like a fighting game, right? I mean, it's either that or we get a recreation of the Blitz back in the World War II on London, and basically it's a Sonic Forces 2, which I don't think they're gonna do because nobody likes Sonic Forces. So yeah, based on all this evidence of Sega hiring people to work on a 3D battle action game, the name Sonic Blitz. Sonic Blitz is basically a 3D fighting game. Now personally, I'm not much of a fighting game fan per se. I played a lot of Mortal Kombat 9 back in the day and a bit of Street Fighter here and there, but nothing too crazy. So I'm not really the expert when it comes to this kind of discussion of Sonic game, but I know a lot of people are a big fan of this idea and want to see it for ages. So in terms of, general reception, this should be something big for Sonic. I mean, clearly the Sonic racing genre hasn't really taken up as much as Mario Kart or something like that, so maybe it's time for Sega to take a new approach with instead fighting games. I mean, Mario, apart from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, doesn't really do fighting games, so there's a bit of a small gap in the market there for Sonic. And let's be honest here, when it comes to either racing in flipping cars or throwing hands, Sonic throwing hands makes more sense. I mean, after Frontiers and Shadow Gens, it's clear that these characters have a lot of things that can actually be used pretty well in a fighting game. I mean, it's definitely a lot more than just spin dashing with every single move in the Smash Bros games or whatever. So yeah, a Sonic fighting game for other people, not me personally, would be quite cool. Unless you put some sort of spin on it to make it more interesting to me personally, but we'll see. I've always thought since Sonic Frontiers that maybe they could make some sort of fighting game where you play the combat in that game, but obviously a lot more polished and more in-depth with mechanics and whatnot, and then you just use that for a fighting game. I think that could be cool, but people might disagree with that statement. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that about does it for today's video then. So Sonic Blitz is real and it's most likely going to be a fighting game of some sort. Now the question of when it will release, well, we don't exactly know. It could be this year, next year, the year after, we don't know. Because if that leak back from 2022 was actually real, even though the images themselves were fake, then it could be quite a close release actually. But then if it was fake entirely and then the trademark happened just now because development started just now, then it's going to be at least 2 or 3 years away then. But to be honest with you, I don't think a trademark happens that early in development. I don't think, because again, they could always change the name. Same with Sonic Rangers. I mean, they didn't trademark that name, I don't think. So who knows? In the next year, Sonic Blitz could possibly release. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think of this news. Are you happy to see a Sonic fighting game? And how would you personally want to see the game handled? 3D, 2D, mix of both? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by hitting that join button down below. Remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.